The Best Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson. Meet the Herdmans. They were absolutely the worst kids in the history of the world. They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls, and talked dirty and hit little kids and cussed their teachers. And they were just so all-around awful you could hardly believe they were real. 6 stringy-haired kids, all alike except for being different sizes and having different black and blue places where they had clonked each other. We figured they were headed straight for the penitentiary until they got themselves mixed up with our Christmas pageant. My mother was put in charge of the pageant. This was no biggie because it's the same pageant every year and everyone knew their part. But then my brother Charlie told the whole church that what he liked best about Sunday school was there were no Herdmans there. That was right before he accidentally invited the Herdmans to church. He lied to Leroy about snacks. We get refreshments all the time, all we want. The next Sunday, there they were, asking about the cake, just in time to hear about the pageant. They didn't know what it was, but they stole all the parts anyway. Imogene said, "I want to be Mary," and Ralph wants to be Joseph. So afterward, Mother asked my goody-two-shoes friend Alice why she didn't volunteer to be Mary, like always. Alice told Mother about Imogene's threats. We all believed any Herdman threat, and Alice said, "Your mother should have told them no. Somebody should put Imogene out of the pageant, and all the rest of them too. They'll do something terrible and ruin the whole thing." At the first rehearsal, they slid into the room like a bunch of outlaws about to shoot up a saloon. And there they sat, the closest thing to criminals that we knew about, and they were going to represent the best and the most beautiful. No wonder everybody was so worked up. They didn't know anything about the Christmas story. Ollie didn't know what a shepherd was. What's an inn? What happened first? What were the wadded-up clothes? So Mother told us all the story, stopping many times to explain what we'd all heard a million times. The Herdmans were outraged. "You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was the child welfare? What kind of cheap king hands out oil for a present? We get better presents from the firemen." I couldn't understand the Herdmans. You would have thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI files. They got so involved in it, wanted a bloody end to Herod, worried about Mary having her baby in a barn, and called the wise men a bunch of dirty spies. On the night of the pageant, Mother said when it was all over she might want to go someplace and hide. "We've never once gone through the whole thing. I don't know what's going to happen." As for ruining the whole thing, it seemed to me that the Herdmans had improved the pageant a lot just by doing what came naturally, like burping the baby, for instance, or thinking a ham would make a better present than a lot of perfumed oil. Well, it was the best Christmas pageant we ever had. Everybody said so, but nobody seemed to know why. For years, I'd thought about the wonder of Christmas and never really understood it. But for Imogene, Christmas just came over her all at once, like a case of chills and fever. I love this book because it presents the well-known Christmas story in a fresh light from a new perspective with a lot of humor. Every time I read it for myself, it's like reconnecting with an old friend. But better than that is when I get to share this book with someone who has never heard the story. I have the movie. I've done the play. I enjoy sharing the reader's theater, but my favorite format is the book. I love to read it aloud. It is a hilarious, heartwarming tale that I never get tired of.